Okay, develop a special ditch profile. And of course, a special ditch profile is used um, when you don't want a standard depth of ditch, like say 2 or 3 feet, to be consistent. Normally, if you have a standard ditch, the ditch depth is just following the same profile as the roadway. But it's very, very common to have special ditches. So we're going to go over that. But before we do anything with the model, we first have to actually develop the special ditch profile. So in order to do that, we go to where our profile is located with the alignment. So we'll just browse over, we'll get over to the alignment file. Then, of course, we'll set our feature definition to special ditch profile, and we'll be using, some of our geometry tools, our civil AccuDraw, that sort of thing. Very similar, really, to the way that we developed the proposed profile for the alignment. So we go to the Geometry tab, Open Profile Model. We can click on the alignment, click on a view. Oh, kind of get that same situation like we had before, where I did a save settings, I guess, with it, with the profile view of the existing alignment. Like we said, there's one way of doing this is just change your model to default, just like that. And that was model 3. So I hit Open Profile Model, select the alignment, data point, and we should see our roadway profile in there. And like I said, we're going to be working with civil AccuDraw. So I'm going to toggle that, turn that on, and because I'm working in the profile view, that blue is highlighted. I clicked on this window. When I clicked on Civil AccuDraw, these are the choices that I got, with the Z value being an option. That's just the most useful one for profiles. Now, normally, of course, you would be designing on your own with for instance, you might it's very common to have crossroad culverts, and you just want a straight ditch between those crossroad culverts. You pick up elevations and stations, all that. In this case, we're not here to learn how to design a special ditch profile necessarily. We're learning how to model. So we're just going to use the special ditch that was actually used on this project. And so we know roughly what works. So we'll just go with that information. So if I turn to page 39 in the plans, I can see that we start at the beginning of the alignment, and there's my elevation 697.1. I may go ahead and just write that down. 697.1, and that was at station 100 even, and we follow that along. And the grade, the slope is 0.3%, negative 0.3%. Looks like that carries all the way across this page. I'll go to the next page, and then I can see the VPI is located at 109 plus 30.98. And I guess you don't necessarily have to write down the elevation, right? Because when we set that constraint of 0.3 and we extend that alignment to this station, that's where we should end up. And then we'll continue from there. We'll switch to a negative 0.9% over to station 115. And then that breaks to a negative 1.31% down to 116 plus 28. I think we'll just go with that. We're not going to worry about anything beyond that at this point. And sometimes it's okay. This is probably not too often this happens, but being this is a realignment, it's probably more likely. But in any case, both my left and my right special ditches are going to be the same exact profile. So really, only one was needed to be stored, in this at this particular location anyway. You can see once we get down towards the end that there is a separate left and right special ditch profile, but at least getting down to station 115, we only had the one. So now that we have the information, we'll go up this, and this is, we've been through this, right, with designing the roadway profile, so really no different with the special ditch profile, except the feature definition is going to be different, of course. So I go linear, profile, ground profile, and no, don't go ground, I'm sorry. Go ditch profile, proposed special ditch right, let's say. Okay, so now I'm going to start off at station 100. So I just hit enter, lock that in there while I was snapped to the beginning. And we said the elevation is 697.1, enter to lock it. And there we go. And the next station is going to be 109 plus 30.98, enter. And then we said that percent grades was negative 0.3. So if I use my tab key, I'm going to go up to where it says length and then use the right arrow. That'll switch it to slope, and type in negative 0.3, enter. That'll lock it. And you can see there's only one solution, right? So it takes me there. Now I probably up here should have turned on linking so I don't have to keep snapping to it, and up to you if you want to leave that persist snaps on or off. I don't think it really matters in this particular case, so I'm going to accept that. And notice that we continue here. Interested. I don't know if that's the feature definition for special ditch right. I'll have to take a look at that, but we can fix that afterwards if we need to. But it should have used up here our active feature definition for proposed special ditch right. It might be okay. We'll see. Okay, the next VPI station is tab down to station 115 plus 00, enter. And again, we're going to tab to length, right arrow to slope, and we switch to a negative 0.9 right there, enter, accept it. And then the last one was, let's see, I'll tab down to station 116 plus 28, enter, same deal. Tab over to length, right arrow, and we said that was negative 1.31, enter. And that was it. Yeah, it must have been when I went up and clicked on length that it lost its feature definition, but no big deal. Let's see if it has any feature definition at all here. No, it doesn't look like it. So let's go ahead and set a feature definition to that. I can go to standards, pull down, set feature definition. And let's see, we'll switch to, I think it's linear. Yeah, profiles, ground profile. No, special ditch profile. profile, special ditch right. And then I'm just going to select on that item that didn't get the feature definition assigned. I reset to complete, and you can see it changes to the proper symbology. So now, really, even though we had the link toggle, that's really just for convenience of placing the lines, because really these are all separate lines. Be no different than if you just snap to the end after each time. So the next thing I want to do is complex these lines to make just one long special ditch profile. Make things easier on me later. So complex geometry, and that's under the vertical tools. So it's the very first one, profile complex elements, and it's set to automatic. So I kind of hover over the special ditch profile on the left. I see that arrow, it's pointing right. That's the direction I want. The whole thing highlights, and I say yes. One more time, and I accept it. So now the special ditch profile is combined. Now here, we're not going to make this the active profile though. That was really just for the roadway profile. See, what would happen here is, because there can only be one active profile, so this is a little confusing here, because normally you think of, well, once you're finished designing the profile, you make it active. But if I was to make this active here, what would happen then is the roadway profile would then use the special ditch profile, and that's not what we want. So I am not going to make the special ditch profile active. We'll leave the roadway active. Okay, so now that we've got that set, well, the next thing will be to apply it to our corridor. And it looks like we're set up with that in the next chapter. So let's go ahead and end this chapter right here, and we'll start a new chapter.